Hi, I'm Zach Stewart.
Laura Hotchkiss.
And I'm Daniel Kvoras. On this podcast, we improvise in character as hosts of a morning radio show in a fictional country called the Driftwood Isles.
Everything we say is made up, and none of the events, people, or places are real.
It's that simple. Now enjoy this episode of Good Morning Driftwood.
And welcome back to Good Morning Driftwood. We are back. Your hosts, I am Bench PerDiem, and with me in the studio, as always, Dirk Wiley.
Indeed.
And Penelope MacGuffin.
Indeed.
Well, we're real formal today, guys, aren't we?
That's 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3?
Indeed.
Bango. That's what I say now. I'm trying out catchphrases. One of them's bango.
Oh, I thought Indeed was going to be one of them.
It is as well. I've got a roster.
You got a roster?
Yeah.
I can't wait to revisit more of those
One
as
of
we
them
go
is,
along.
that's the spicy chimichanga.
I like Indeed better.
It's the chimichanga one. You think that's a little wordy?
It's a little wordy. You can edit it down.
I feel like
Okay.
you also maybe put the inflection slightly too, like chimichanga was a longer word than you expected it to be, is what it felt
That
like.
was the birthday sign of catchphrases.
Chimichanga.
Yeah, I felt like you were just like, I don't know.
I feel like it
Musicality,
deserves
though,
a little more
beautiful.
appreciation, the word. Let it sing, you know?
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous word, chimichanga.
I feel like you learned it yesterday and are now using it a lot.
Chimichanga.
Is this your word of the day?
It's my word of my year now.
Oh, you do one?
I'm going to be
word a
slipping it
year?
in all the time.
You got an advent calendar that's just
Indeed.
one word a year?
Yep.
Yeah.
I wake up, I look at my calendar, it says chimichanga on the top of it.
And this is also a new year right now. We are
Indeed.
in the new year.
Ringing it in
Ring-a-ding-ding.
with a chimichanga every day.
Ring-a-ding-ding with a chimichanga every day to you as well.
Stop trying to get catchphrases going, Bench.
I feel like you're-
want to be a part of it.
I feel like you're really hijacking that chat, like that
Catchphrase thing.
You really like come up with your own. You
Yeah.
know?
If you want to do
feel like-
catchphrases, all right, fine, I guess. If you include chimichanga in that catchphrase,
Okay.
we're going to have to fight over that.
Can I have ring-a-ding-ding though?
You can have a ring-a-ding-ding.
I'll
That
take
feels
ring-a-ding-ding.
very Bench.
It feels right.
No one's fighting you for
No one's
anything.
fighting you for ring-a-ding-ding,
Feels
brother.
on brand for my whole thing. Anyway. Well, this is fun. You know, Dirk, we missed you last night. Penny and I had a lovely night. We went to a live table read of course, Fritz Lang's famous silent film Metropolis. The event was put together by Driftwood's own resident German expressionist Lars Hans, and included some of Driftwood's biggest actors, which included Jeremy Steams, Vanessa Hellspawn, Jebediah Klump, Derek the 15th, Patty Lapone, and of course, Jack Wiley.
They all did so
And
good.
that is why I was not there.
They
they-
were so good.
They were so good. There wasn't a lot of talking
There
again
was
because
so few lines.
so few lines, but we held space for every line that would have been said. It took 3 hours.
Which means just, I would imagine it was mostly space then.
It was
Mostly
mostly
space.
space.
Yeah.
It was very
Yeah.
meditative.
Well, that
Um,
makes sense why Jack was there, because he does a lot of unnecessary bullshit most of the time.
I don't know if I call it that.
I wouldn't call. He was so good. He was so good.
Again, did he have any lines?
No.
I sometimes think the
So the best Jack Wiley is a silent Jack Wiley. We agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, I
Bench.
think-
Well said.
I think it's like the
Jack Wiley, for new listeners, is my brother, who is a very well-known and prominent and famous actor out on the West Coast in Starlight City. We don't see eye to eye on many
No.
things,
You
but
really
anything
don't.
at all.
I acknowledge his success.
You do.
I'm not
He's a
saying I'm
very-
happy for his
very-
success, but I acknowledge it.
I think the thing with Jack Wiley is it's all the words he doesn't say that make it such a compelling performance.
It truly is. There's so much subtext
So you appreciate it when he's not talking.
I-
I do as well. I agree.
because you can see what he's thinking.
well, the physicality.
You're right.
of-
He's got a very dumb guy face where you can see his face and you're like, oh, I'll bet he's thinking this. You know, when you see a guy who's just not got a lot going on up there, he's just sort of
You-
staring off and you're like, he's probably thinking about like dog shit or something.
When we asked if you wanted to come to this and you said, no, I'm busy. And we went, oh, what you up to tonight then? And you were like, things. I'm doing lots of things. You wouldn't understand things.
Such a good Dirk impression.
I just wondered what what did you get up to in the end?
Chimichanga extravaganza.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Chimichanga extravaganza.
Listen, Dirk, I don't want to push you on this point more, but you should know that after the table read, Patti LuPone did come up to Jack and like hold him by the arms and said, "You saved cinemas." She was so proud of him.
I would have thought more of Patti.
Oh, she's a huge fan.
Huge Jack fan.
Now I need to rethink my fandom of Patti LuPone.
You don't have to.
I think
because I like her work, but it's like when you think someone's cool, and then they
don't like you.
I wasn't going to say that. I was just going to say they say something that's like, ooh, I really disagree with that mindset or philosophy, or you find out they're like racist or something, and you're like, ooh,
I don't like your brother's the same level.
This burns this person from my mind forever.
I feel like you're putting because
Jack
LuPone
Wiley
likes
is
your
equivalent
brother
to racism in terms of how terrible he is for the world. In my opinion,
he's a lovely actor. He's a very nice man.
So charismatic.
Oh, God, just the cheekbones.
The cheekbones.
The cheekbones alone can bring.
Again, we're
peace.
brothers. We have very similar features.
Yeah.
It's weird how on one, you know how sometimes you see somewhere like star power, and you can have two brothers from the same DNA pool, and you can go star power to one of them.
Yeah, like to one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other one you go radio star power.
Yeah. Like the Baldwins.
And it's interesting how the one who you say star power is the one who ended up in radio. That's a really funny coincidence.
Yeah. She said star power and the other one goes to radio.
Yeah.
And she said the other one is radio star power.
Yeah.
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 It's just interesting how the radio star power one ended up in movies and the actual star power one ended up on the radio.
Don't correct them.
The jumps, the leaps are impressive.
I do have a very high vertical leap. I'm glad you acknowledged that as well. It was a bit out of nowhere, but thanks for bringing it up.
You worked on those calves.
I can reach the net on a basketball hoop.
Yeah.
I can jump and touch the net.
Not with the ball, but just with your hand.
No, with my hand. Yeah. The ball distracts me.
The ball goes anywhere but.
Yeah.
You're like a squirrel with a I guess a ball.
Yeah. Well, they can't hold a ball.
I don't think squirrels are dunking.
Yeah. They bury it, which
Penny,
is the opposite of what you do.
Is that your catchphrase?
Yeah, I don't think
don't be dunking.
Yeah, squirrels don't be dunking. Because like you say, squirrels are gonna bury the nut. So to put it through a hoop, if anything, is like the opposite of what they want to do.
It's true.
They don't want that.
They don't want that at all.
No.
They want that nut.
Indeed.
See, that's
a spicy chimichanga.
I was going to say that's what last night was like. Just a lot of silence and holding space. And I feel like today we're still holding space for the lyrics of Metropolis.
So it was a reading.
Yeah.
It was a table read.
Yeah.
Like a
for
live
the
read.
silent.
They all had scripts.
So there was no physicality whatsoever.
No.
So was it clear what was happening in the film at all?
Strangely,
if there was no
I think if
physicality?
you'd seen the film, it made a lot of sense. I can imagine if you've never seen the film, the silences without any sort of description would have been confusing.
Would have lost you.
Possibly alarming.
There was the only voice that was heard was, of course, the director, Jans, who was doing the stage directions.
Yeah. I think if you're a fan, you definitely highly recommend it. I mean, the scripts, each of them were holding a script that was at best 2 to 3 pages long because obviously no words.
A lot of highlighting.
A lot of highlight and a lot of little markers on the side. Like they'd really done their research. Really.
So many margin notes of like actions and, what is the...
I can't believe they would have been able to keep pace. And like would have known when they were, because if you have a whole page that's nonverbal, I don't know how they're going to know when to turn the page.
Professional actors.
Yeah, that's why they're good.
Professional actors.
Man.
Working actors. What can I say?
They just know how to work it.
Yeah.
Working actors work it.
Budding actors.
Some of them are budding.
Budding actor Patti LuPone.
There are different categories.
You call Patti LuPone a budding actor?
You have no idea what she's going to do yet. I think this is just the
beginning.
Just the tip of the iceberg.
And it's a shame. It's a shame that you've given up on her so soon.
Well, when someone shows that they really don't have their head in the game by respecting Jack Wiley's work, then you got to judge their own ceiling.
It's funny because last night when we spoke to Jack after, obviously to say congratulations, what a performance, Jack. Oh, amazing. He was like, oh yeah, and I remember you guys were like, anytime I want to come on the show, the door's open. And we were like, absolutely, the door's always open for you.
Always open, literally open.
It's not always. Yeah. Again, when he has something coming out soon, he will have a time slot that he can enter the building, and by the end of which he needs to leave the building.
Which is true for all of us.
Beyond that time frame, well, we have passes. We can then come and go as we please. Whereas I like to very strictly regiment his accessibility here in my space, in my house. Jack Wiley has a very specific entry and exit time.
I thought you got asked to take your clothes out of the changing room and take them home again. You're not allowed to call this your house.
Yeah.
They asked you to take your trinkets.
They asked me, but what are they going to do?
That's not your point. You do get away with a lot.
Well, we do have 10-year air. They can't really fly around our house.
I don't think they're going to get rid of you something.
Ring-a-ding-ding.
Indeed.
Indeed, Bench. Indeed.
Well, let's hold space for that and take a little break. And we'll be right back. And we are back. Dirk, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. There's actually some exciting news, as well.
That's exciting.
Yeah, the city of New Derrick bought the famed Driftwood cruise ship called the Octopus's Garden, and they're decommissioning it and are turning it into a housing complex.
Oh.
Another big houseboat.
Yeah, a massive houseboat. And they say it will house approximately 3,000 residents, and there will be affordable housing units as well as luxury suite. And residents are sure to enjoy the on-ship grocery store when they're not taking advantage of the buffet, as well as the ship's numerous swimming pools, 3 theaters, spa, and axe-throwing cantina. The city says that there is nothing they can do, however, about the many ghosts that are known to haunt the Octopus's Garden, and they encourage those living on the ship to, quote, show the garden's original residents the utmost respect, lest they be dragged below deck to join them.
That's
end quote.
Reasonable.
That is a clause in a lot of leases that you sign.
You hear the word "lest" a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Octopus's Garden did have a bit of a situation where everyone just did a sudden disappearance. Real
everyone
almost like a
disappearance.
They
like
did
a
a sudden disappearance.
Like it felt like a sudden departure all of a sudden, real sudden, and then no one truly knows. But hey, it's great if they actually didn't depart, if they are still on that cruise.
Yeah.
Because what better place to be stuck for eternity than enjoying the luxury of the cruise ship?
I mean, if I had to
There's an axe-throwing cantina.
If I had to spend like the afterlife in one place, I think that I'd like to be
a lot to do
under the sea in an octopus's garden.
Yeah.
In the shade.
Well, you're not technically under. Well, I suppose some levels of it you would be under the sea, but a lot of the levels of it are actually above the sea level.
This is true.
That's how
but it would be a good place to spend the afterlife because there's so many activities.
So many activities.
Yeah.
You never have to leave.
You never have to leave.
That's what they said.
That was one of the pitches for the Octopus Garden when they were an active cruise ship. It just said, you never have to leave.
Now,
and some don't. It was a bit weird that they put that ominous ... and some never do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read it though as like, you never have to leave. And some don't. When I did the reading off the radio.
That's generous.
Yeah, that was my interpretation of it.
Now,
I think a lot of people were tricked by that positivity, and they have now ended up as ghosts.
Yeah, and you know what? It's actually like a real compliment to know that an advert that I worked on inspired so many people to take up tickets for that cruise.
You're a working actor.
You're an effective ad reader.
Yeah.
Hey, voice for radio. It's that warm voice. It's that warm voice.
You got a voice for radio.
Really, really do.
Voice for radio. There's nothing negative about that saying.
Only positive.
Only positive. Yeah. I was going to say that there are a lot of, rumors, stories. People are saying, a lot of people are saying that the Octopus's Garden, because they have this sign on the side that just says the Octopus's Garden, and people have said that they caught glimpses of that being painted over the original name, which, again, rumor has it that it's the Flying Dutchman, that this is all a scheme to get more souls into Davy Jones's locker.
Davy Jones.
I haven't heard that.
Oh, God. It feels like everything these days is just like potentially a Davy Jones-based scam.
His tentacles reach far and wide.
People are saying that crypto is a Davy Jones scam.
Crypto was created by Davy Jones.
Probably.
The ghost of Davy Jones.
Yeah, because he wanted you to buy the Bitcoin, and then once you bought it, you were now Davy Jones, and he got to leave the locker. That's what I heard.
It's like you own Bitcoin and he owns you.
And here in the Driftwood Isles, of course, we have our own cryptocurrency. We got bit-doubloons.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bit-doubloons. BDB.
BDB?
Bit of it.
Ring-a-ding-ding.
No,
really
that's not how it's
forcing
pronounced.
it. You're really forcing it
I'm
now.
really trying to make this happen.
You have to let them come naturally. And they also have to be very applicable and like versatile. Like that's a spicy chimichanga is a super, super versatile phrase.
Use it in a sentence.
I'm not going to force it.
Hey,
It's going to happen naturally when it happens.
What do you want for lunch?
A chimichanga.
That's not, you didn't set him up grammatically correctly. Hey, Dirk, what do you think of this chimichanga?
That's a spicy chimichanga.
There you go. Oh, the eyes turned white.
That was beautiful. That was really
That's
cool.
how you know it's the truth.
Yeah.
He went into fugue state for a second. We got fugue there.
That's when I speak the universe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you know it really is a spicy chimichanga.
I'd like to think if your meal is so spicy it takes you to a different plane, it's done its job.
There we go.
Yeah. Like, I don't want spice to just be like a level of spice. I'm like, oh, nippy. I want it to be like, I just saw ancestors. Wow.
You want it to send you to another plane.
Yeah, I want to go to another plane.
And the buffet at the Octopus's Garden has sent some people to another plane as well.
Many.
Yeah.
You have such good relationships with your ancestors.
Yeah. Hey.
Are any of them on the Octopus's Garden?
Oh, actually, yeah. I have an estranged aunt, but an aunt nonetheless. As our family say,
That's
estranged
nice of you.
and strange.
Is she estranged because she died?
No, she was estranged before the death.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, I don't think you become estranged in death because then everyone's ancestors are estranged.
That's like saying, like, my grandfather and I don't talk anymore.
Yeah. You're missing like a caveat
After
to
they
that
died.
story. You buried
Yeah.
the lead on that one.
Important note.
Yeah.
Because they're dead.
Technically true.
True. You could frame it that way.
You could
it would
frame
be
it that way.
unkind of you towards the memory of your grandfather to do so, but you could frame it that way.
You could frame it that way and then really make the other person in the conversation feel like such a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then they would take that cue and be like, "Oh, were they mean?" Like they start like being, saying bad, negative things, and start shitting on your grandfather, and you'd be like, "Well, he's dead."
Yeah.
People here.
And that's a spicy chimichanga if you're going to do that to a friend of yours.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to say, people here do love to take any opportunity they can to shit on people's grandparents. It's like one of the...
Grandparents had a tough go of it in Driftwood.
Yeah.
No respect.
No, none at all. It's like, you reach a certain age and then you've had a child and then that child's had a child and then suddenly it's just like, whoa, the situation changes for you.
It's like, get out of here. It's not, this is our time. A lot of parents say that about their own kids when their grandparents try to get involved. They say, this is our time.
It's crazy how other places you hear about them doing like senior citizen discount and here that's unheard of.
Like a reverence for the elderly.
You have to pay more.
Yeah.
So you've had time to accrue wealth.
Exactly.
Yeah. You've had time to save for it, so start paying for it. That's what Driftwood says. That's
save
what the council
for it and pay for it.
Save for it, pay for it.
Save for it, pay for it.
If anything, the babies should be charged less because they can't work.
They don't have jobs.
Don't stop charging extortionate amounts for nappies, okay? Like, let the kids
These
have
kids
them.
can't afford their...
They can't. Babies can't afford... in this economy, babies? Crazy.
Babies? In this economy?
Babies? In this economy?
Babies? In this economy?
Sounded like you were talking to a baby with that voice there.
That was kind of my steer.
Was your steer?
My steer.
Your direction?
Sometimes if you don't have a director telling you specifically what the line read should be by doing the line read at you, it's good to just think you're talking to a baby and try that because it's never wrong.
It works a lot in a surprising number of productions.
The Godfather. Most lines in that, it's like they're talking
Baby
to a baby.
talk.
It's true.
Full on baby talk. Listen to Brando.
Yeah. It's like every
He
line
kind of
he's
does
doing.
have sort of a baby
I'm
talk
going to
thing
make
going.
you an offer you can't refuse.
Not that far off.
That's my
very,
point.
very accurate.
Really.
Very
he
accurate.
does have sort of a baby talk thing going on there.
Yeah.
Trying to think of literally any
The day of my daughter's wedding.
Well, literally any other actor in the world.
He was an Owen Wilson.
But
You got that in the
I'm
tank?
trying to think of a line, like an Owen Wilson line.
I'm fantastic, Mr. Fox.
I'm fantastic, Mr. Fox.
Pretty solid.
Yeah.
It's pretty solid.
Ring-a-ding-ding.
Yours, though, however, okay, you're forcing it to. No one likes it. No one likes it.
That one you try to use it almost as like a victory.
Yeah.
I'm trying different contexts for this.
Okay, maybe one of them will slip in. Maybe one of them will work. We'll figure that out.
Can only hope.
We can only hope.
Well, and with that hope, shall we take a little break?
Let's take a little break.
Let's take a little break. And we're back. We're back. We're here. We never left.
Didn't go anywhere. We stayed here and listened to all of that.
Ring-a-ding-ding.
1, 2, 3. Indeed.
I thought we were harmonizing.
See, it was very smooth between Penny and I.
Yeah,
But
and
your
then-
voice sounded very grating over the top
I
of
was
it.
watching a documentary where they were trying to pull together K-pop bands, and one thing they kept having to say to the girls was, you're in a band together, stop trying to out-sing each other. Like, you trying to out-sing is not going to get you a spot in this band, because we need all 6 of you to be a band together. And I think that's a real good lesson learned
But
for
what
this
if
It's about
right now.
cohesion.
What if all of them want to be the soprano, though?
That's not going to happen.
Not going to work.
Okay. The interesting thing with a K-pop band is some girls are just really good dancers and their vocals aren't as strong as the really good singers, but their dancing is not as strong as the really good dancers. But then you get some girls that are just star quality who, if anything, it's attractiveness and face that really carry them through the band. So their musicality less than the other girls. However, all comes together and make a beautiful song.
That's why one band can be a triple threat.
1, 2, 3.
Indeed.
That was better.
That's better, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that.
It's like you learned your place.
Yeah.
I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm listening.
Yeah.
What do you got for us, Ben?
Well, we're coming up to that special time of year, aren't we?
Ooh.
Special
Are we
year.
now?
The day dedicated to the benevolent god Johan.
Johan.
Johan's Day is a traditional Driftwood holiday where together the whole isle gets together and sacrifices one person.
Yeah, one person.
Deemed the ultimate gift, a young sacrifice was chosen from the local village, usually in an elaborate lottery system. The sacrifice would then be taken to Altar Square. If you're new to Driftwood, don't confuse Altar Square with that's the one where they have the sacrificial altar. Okay, Gallows Square is different. That's where they would execute prisoners.
Not as sacrifices.
Not sacrifices. Very different. And then also Market Square is not that one either way. That's where the artisanal farmers market takes place every second Sunday. Okay, so and you gotta
People do die there sometimes.
Yes.
And also,
But
if you
unplanned.
want to get food, don't mistake it and go to Farmers Square, which is just a square named after John Farmer.
Yeah, it's
Nothing happens.
No.
there.
nothing
there's
happens
nothing
there.
going on there.
No, I believe there's never been a death there.
Never.
Unusual because people love deaths and squares on this island sometimes.
Best place for a death.
Absolutely.
If you're going to die, make it in a square.
Try to crawl to a square
Yeah.
if you can.
Yeah. That's the way to get noticed. Big empty patch of land.
Location.
Location.
And if that location is a square, even better.
All the
Ding,
better.
ding, ding. A ring-a-ding-ding. That's where you would use it.
that's
There
where
you go.
do it.
That's where
That
it
was
would
really
go
good.
in.
Penny figured it out.
Yeah.
I'm
She
listening.
cracked the code on ring-a-ding-ding.
You know what? If you want it, you can have it,
I think just to get it away from you, I might take it.
but you have to use it.
I don't think you'll use ring-a-ding-ding for good. I think the weight of ring-a-ding-ding will crush you, Bench.
To evil? Just only for evil.
I am willing to let go of it if you promise to use it. I don't want
we'll
it to
find one
go
for you.
away.
Yeah.
We'll find one for you.
Something will come up naturally.
Keep peppering them in as you see fit.
Well, that's fine.
I didn't like that one.
I didn't like
That
it all.
felt kind of sarcastic.
Yeah, it felt like you were mocking me.
Uh-huh.
I was trying to support you, and it felt like you were like,
Felt kind of fighty.
yeah, like if you just said that, that's fine. Then it was like, okay, he agrees with me. But the way you said it as a catchphrase did have a mocking tone.
Okay, can I try one more time?
Bray, hit us.
Well, that's fine.
Now that was even more like you're mocking me.
I was
Now-
trying to
You
do
know
it.
what? Let's
Put
bench
this aside.
this.
Yeah, we're gonna bench this for
Hey.
bench.
That would be a really good catchphrase.
That would be a really good.
Yeah.
Also, again, one that he would be really good at using.
Yeah.
But you used it perfectly.
I don't want to confuse people, though, because I do have my yearly fundraiser called Benching for Bench, where I have a bunch of people do as many bench presses as they can to raise money for my rent.
So it's weird that you didn't think of that catchphrase.
I know.
Then Penny just nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't want people to get confused with Benching for Bench.
I'm a part-time copywriter in the creative and advertising space. So this actually me writing really catchy taglines for people, not uncommon.
Are you going to give that to Bench for his fundraiser, or I feel like you should just keep that?
I think
because you really knocked it out of the park.
I mean, the interesting thing about being a part-time copywriter is you really, you don't just give it away for free, not when you've got a business. So
what if you bring a ding ding for free? And I came up with that. No one has ever said that before.
I don't know if it was given for free. I feel like it was on the ground and I just picked it up.
I feel like she pried that from your hands.
As you screamed at me.
Yeah, sort of gladiatorial style as the crowd cheered and was happy that she did.
A real One Ring situation with my relationship to that catchphrase. It's mine.
One Ring situation?
Yeah, the One Ring. Are you familiar with it?
Oh, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, well... We don't have time for that.
We don't have time for the extended edition.
I will start talking about the Silmarillion and we will be here all day.
Not again. There was so many complaints for that one time.
Why are all the elves called Fae something?
Anyway, the benevolent old god Johan was deemed to have really mellowed out in his waning years. However, no one's really worked out if the waning was from just older age, taking things easier, less being up for punishment, or all the sacrifices. And to be honest, no one's willing to risk it to check. Yeah. So what we would like to do, obviously what we do now even, is that instead of doing a death sacrifice, because it's not really it's kind of frowned upon these days to
people don't like it that much anymore.
It's a real PC culture thing. You can't sacrifice a person anymore.
Yeah, so obviously there was a lot of complaints.
Maybe that could be your catchphrase.
That could be your catchphrase. On a different show, perhaps?
Yeah.
Like one of those different radio stations?
No.
It sounded very natural for you.
It sounded real normal for you to say that.
No.
It sounded like you say it often in your personal life.
Rolled out real smooth.
No.
Well practiced.
Just no.
I don't think that can be the catchphrase.
Let's not make that a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Continue.
I don't think just no can be the catchphrase, but okay. So what we do...
Let's not make that a thing. Can that be a catchphrase?
That's not so much a catchphrase as a desperate plea of a man.
I feel like I say that a lot. I feel like in this room I say that a lot.
Feels like a desperate plea. Now instead of sacrificing their life, we just sacrifice their time. We choose the busiest islander we can find, send them into the middle of the woods in an RV, make sure there's no Wi-Fi, there's no phone signal. We at best give them a book that they didn't plan or want to read, so it's not like they can finish that book they've been trying to read. We just make sure it's a real waste of a 24 or 36 hours for them. And do it that way. And that seems to work. But again, is it working because it's a sacrifice, or is Johan just not interested anymore? Will we ever know?
It's the price we would all have to pay if he is interested and we stop doing it is not worth the risk.
Imagine we got it wrong.
Oh boy.
That'd be so embarrassing. That's like turning up to a party without a gift and you didn't realize everyone was bringing gifts. Ugh.
I think everyone else made a sacrifice to Johan and we didn't.
Oofed.
Because we do want his gifts, you know.
Yeah.
His graces.
All the other countries are doing that right now. We don't want to be the one country not sacrificing to Johan.
They gotta be.
They gotta be.
I get Johan's gifts of easing awkward moments at parties.
What a guy.
Mm-hmm.
What a guy.
Small talk, Johan. He saves you from the small talk.
He saves you from that. He absolutely saves you from those moments where you think you're going to bump into an ex.
Mm-hmm.
Johan will cause a distraction of some description.
When you're going to an event or a party that you're worried you're going to run into an ex, give a little prayer to Johan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Make a little sacrifice and he'll look out for you.
He's also the god of stopping people from talking over each other.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's actually really good that he does that.
Yeah.
I like that he does that.
It really saves a lot of people a lot of confusion.
Because people don't really like it, hearing it happen.
They like hearing one person end a sentence clean before another person talks.
Yes, they do.
Some might say that it sort of obstructs the flow of a conversation.
Is that a gap? I feel like that's a gap. I agree.
Good job.
Mm-hmm.
And that was our sacrifice.
Indeed. And hopefully Johan will look down upon our clearly delineated lines and give us many graces for our sacrifice of the cohesion of the conversation.
I was going to say look down or up.
True. Because he is a maritime god.
He is a maritime god, and they are most often under the sea.
Indeed.
Not to be confused with hell, which is under the sea.
Different. These are two different things, which is important that residents of the Driftwood Isles know. Because, you used to say, hey, looking up from us, people would think that's an insult. No, they're just in the water. And it's actually very cool and calm and comfortable in the water.
Swimming with the fishes is a positive thing.
Yeah.
I said sing because I wanted to say thing and saying.
And saying?
It's a positive saying.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, swimming with the fishes. Doesn't that sound lovely?
I would love to do that.
Bunch of cute fishes all around you, swimming around.
When Brando says it in The Godfather as a threat, I was like, I don't get why that's a threat.
Yeah.
You'll be swimming with the fishes.
It's flawless, Brando. Flawless.
So good at that.
Yeah. It just brings to mind like, oh, gonna go on vacation. It'll be lovely.
Can I just say something? I don't know if any of
Please.
Our conversation feels real stilted all of a sudden.
Johan, well, it's interesting because he's the god of saving you from awkward pauses, and he's also the god of clean, delineated, which kind of facilitate awkward pauses when there's clearly delineated space between each sentence that someone's saying. So it's a bit counterintuitive. Johan is a god of contradictions, I would say. Yeah, as are we all.
Johan's also the god of audio producers who love a clean audio track that does not have more than one person. Like he doesn't want multiple tracks to be dealing with all at the same time with like different people in different levels. He wants like a clean one track, a pause, a beat, and then the next.
Those producers don't care if the conversation flows.
No,
they only care about the waveform.
They just
They're
want
always talking about,
and we can all say there's the prayer, of course, we all know to say to Johan, which is, "Can we get it clean?"
Indeed.
Johan loves a hand clap.
Indeed. And now Bench. And now I go. And now Johan is sated.
Thank God, because I can't keep like pausing and like not talking over you. That's so much. Like
apologies to Johan, but this is ridiculous, man.
All right.
So many thoughts I just had to ignore because I couldn't talk over.
It's every time someone talks, I'm just like, well, I have a thing to say. I want to hear my voice.
Waiting for other people to finish saying
it's
their
so ridiculous.
Bullshit.
Like, why should I have to wait for them to stop when I have something ready to go?
Gotta get it out. This feels better. I'm so glad. Oh Johan sucks.
Johan can go fucking.
Johan is such a downer.
Ring-a-ding-ding.
Ring-a-ding-ding.
Can I just say, Penny, it's so natural when you drop a ring-a-ding-ding in there.
It just sounds like you're imitating the one before. Like this is a Brando impression all of a sudden.
Okay, can I try to do it as a Brando impression? I was going to try to wing-a-ding-wing.
Wing-a-ding-wing?
That wasn't quite there.
You could sell that to Pete's Wing Emporium.
That's true. Yeah. They could market that for you.
You could sell it.
Yeah. Well, although I think you could sell it.
Oh, yeah.
Penny, because now it's yours.
Can you be my agent?
Absolutely.
Great. Done.
Lovely. And
Easy.
A business and a deal is struck.
And thus a
deal is struck.
And on that note, we are going to go on a slightly longer break. Before we do, we just want to thank today's sponsor, which is Mirrored Mirrors. Tired of being flipped and showing you wrong mirrors? Try Mirrored Mirrors, the only mirrors that show you who you really are. Mirrored mirrors on the wall. Who is the fairest of them all? It's you, and this is what you actually look like. Good. You look good. For Good Morning Driftwood, we'll see you soon.
Indeed.
Good Morning Driftwood is executive produced and hosted by Zach Stewart, Laura Hotchkiss, and Daniel Kvoras. Engineered and produced by Zach Stewart. Music by Daniel Kvoras.